You wake up to the sound of an alarm. You walk into a brightly lit bathroom. You squeeze a dollop of bright blue mint paste onto a brush of synthetic nylon bristles. You vigorously scrub your teeth for exactly 2 minutes. You spit into a porcelain sink. You visit a brightly lit clinic twice a year to have your enamel scraped by a professional. You do all of this faithfully your entire life. You still get cavities. Why do your teeth constantly decay? For 99% of human history, this morning routine did not exist. There was no mint paste. There were no plastic toothbrushes. There was certainly no dentist waiting to drill into your skull. Yet, if you examine the skeletal remains of ancient hunter-gatherers, you will notice something incredibly frustrating. Their teeth were straight, strong, and largely free of rot. How did prehistoric humans maintain perfect smiles in the Stone Age? We have been taught that ancient life was dirty, brutal, and diseased. We picture cavemen with rotting brown teeth falling out of their mouths. We assume modern hygiene saved us from a dental nightmare. The truth is entirely backwards. Modern civilization did not save your teeth. Civilization destroyed them. To understand how ancient humans cared for their mouths, we have to look closely at what they left behind. When you do not perfectly brush your teeth, plaque hardens into a mineralized substance called dental calculus. Today, your dental hygienist furiously scrapes this off with a sharp metal hook. But in the ancient world, this calculus simply built up over a lifetime. It acted as a prehistoric time capsule. It trapped microscopic evidence of exactly what was going in and out of our ancestors' mouths. In 2014, archaeologist Karen Hardy examined the dental calculus of Neanderthals found in El Sidrón cave in northern Spain. What she discovered shattered our assumptions about primitive hygiene. These ancient humans were not ignoring their dental health. Hardy found unmistakable microscopic grooves repeatedly scraped into the sides of their teeth. These grooves were created by the repeated, vigorous use of toothpicks. You did not wait for the invention of waxed plastic floss. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, you used what you had. You stripped small, stiff pieces of wood from local bushes. You carefully selected sharp stalks of tough savanna grass. You methodically worked these natural toothpicks between your teeth to dislodge pieces of raw meat and fibrous plants. You actively engaged in personal hygiene. But you did not just pick your teeth. You also brushed them using the forest around you. Across the ancient world, humans discovered the chewing stick. You would break off a twig from a specific type of tree. You would chew one end of the twig until the tough wood fibers frayed and separated. This created a natural, highly effective bristly brush. It was perfect for scrubbing away daily plaque. But these ancient toothbrushes were not just mechanical tools. They were chemical weapons. Researchers studying traditional chewing sticks, like the miswak root still used in many parts of the Middle East and Africa today, found something incredible. The trees our ancestors selected were not random. The wood of the Salvadora persica tree, traditionally used for miswak, naturally contains fluoride, silica, and powerful antibacterial compounds. When you chewed the stick, you were releasing natural toothpaste directly into your mouth. You were actively killing bacteria. You were strengthening your enamel. You were preventing decay before it could even start. Did ancient humans intentionally seek out medicinal plants for oral care? The evidence says yes. Biological anthropologist Anita Radini has spent her career studying the microscopic debris trapped in ancient dental calculus. By looking closely at the plaque of prehistoric individuals, she found traces of yarrow and chamomile. These plants have virtually no nutritional value. They are not food, but they are powerful natural anti-inflammatories. When your ancient gums ached, you knew exactly what to do. You foraged for specific medicinal weeds to soothe the pain. You were practicing primitive dentistry. But what happened when prevention failed? What did you do when a tooth actually cracked or ached deep in the root? You did not simply suffer in silence. You invented the filling. In 2012, researcher Federico Bernardini examined a 6.500-year-old human jawbone found in a cave in Slovenia. Using advanced imaging, He discovered something that completely upended the history of dentistry. A deep, painful crack in the ancient human's canine tooth had been deliberately filled. The material used was beeswax. Long before synthetic resins or silver amalgams, someone carefully packed warm, sterile beeswax into a damaged tooth to seal out bacteria and ease the pain. You were performing complex dental surgery with the tools of the forest. So, if ancient humans were successfully managing their oral health with wooden toothpicks, medicinal twigs, and beeswax fillings, what went wrong? Why are your teeth so terrible today? The answer lies in the greatest mistake in human history, the agricultural revolution. For millions of years, your ancestors ate a wild diet. You ate tough, fibrous roots. You ate lean, wild meat. You cracked hard nuts. This tough diet acted as a natural abrasive. Every time you chewed, the hard, raw food literally scrubbed your teeth clean. More importantly, your ancient diet was incredibly low in carbohydrates and completely devoid of refined sugar. Then, roughly 12,000 years ago, everything changed. You stopped foraging and started farming. You began growing wheat, barley, and rice. You started eating soft, cooked, sticky carbohydrates every single day. For the bacteria in your mouth, this was an absolute feast. Evolutionary geneticist Alan Cooper sequenced the DNA of bacteria trapped in ancient human teeth to track this exact shift. His research revealed a terrifying biological timeline. Before agriculture, the bacteria in the human mouth were remarkably diverse and balanced. But the moment we started farming, the ecosystem in our mouths completely collapsed. A specific strain of bacteria called Streptococcus mutans suddenly exploded in population. This bacteria thrives on sticky carbohydrates and sugars. When it feeds on the bread and grains stuck in your teeth, it produces a highly corrosive acid. This acid eats directly through your enamel. It drills physical holes into your teeth. By shifting to a diet of soft grains, you inadvertently bred an army of acid-producing bacteria in your own mouth. The cavities did not exist because you lacked a modern toothbrush. They existed because you started eating like a modern human. The problem only escalated as civilization advanced. By the Middle Ages, the diets of the wealthy were heavily saturated with sugar. Queen Elizabeth I of England consumed so much refined sugar that her teeth turned completely black and rotted out of her skull. It even became a bizarre status symbol. Having black, rotting teeth meant you were rich enough to afford sugar. The Industrial Revolution pushed this biological crisis over the edge. Refined sugar became cheap and widely available to the masses. The bacteria in our mouths entered a golden age. Cavities became a universal human plague. The modern dental industry was born not out of medical progress, but out of desperate necessity. We had to invent high-speed drills and synthetic pastes just to combat the unnatural diet we had trapped ourselves in. But it was not just your enamel that suffered. Your jaw itself permanently changed. Because you were no longer aggressively chewing tough, raw foods, your jaw muscles did not have to work nearly as hard. Over thousands of years of eating soft, cooked farm food, the human jaw physically shrank in size. But your teeth did not shrink. This is exactly why you likely had to have your wisdom teeth surgically removed. Your ancient ancestors had plenty of room in their wide, strong jaws for all 32 teeth. Your modern jaw is simply too small. Your teeth are crowded, crooked, and trapped beneath the gums. You are dealing with the physical, skeletal consequences of a soft diet. Today, you wage a daily, endless war in your mouth. You buy expensive electronic brushes. You gargle with harsh chemical mouthwashes. You aggressively floss with waxed nylon strings. You sit under the glaring light of a dental clinic, gripping the armrests, hoping the X-ray shows no new holes. We view this as the pinnacle of human hygiene. We think we are finally doing it right. But the next time you are standing at the bathroom sink, scrubbing furiously at your teeth, think about the ancient hunter-gatherer. Think about the Neanderthal sitting outside El Sidran cave, casually picking their teeth with a stiff blade of grass. Think about a jaw so remarkably strong it never needed braces. And teeth so perfectly resilient they outlasted the bones they grew in. You wake up to the sound of an alarm. You walk into a brightly lit bathroom. You squeeze a dollop of bright blue mint paste onto a brush. You scrub your teeth for exactly 2 minutes. Fighting a desperate, losing battle your ancestors never even knew existed.